Good morning. How we doing today? My name is James Sweeney, aka SplitSuit. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to answer a question sent in by John, and John asks the following. When do I show my bluffs and my aces? So as a pure default, I would not suggest showing your hand, because if you think about it, poker is a game of information, and incomplete information at that. But when you show your hand, be it a bluff, be it a monster, it may seem innocent enough, but you're giving information away for free, and perfect information about the exact hand that you actually have. Now, this is something that clearly happens, right? We have to show our hands sometimes, but we do it at showdown, and there's always a price associated with that. Whereas when I just decide to show it just for the sake of it, I'm giving that information away for free. And the real issue here is that good players who are capable of saying, okay, here's an actual hand you have, here's the perfect information, and are able to then reverse engineer it, figure out what your sizes meant throughout that hand, figure out what your range composition looked like, your frequencies looked like, and it's backed by a perfect actual hand within your range. Now all of a sudden you're giving some pretty serious information away for free. And the issue is that the players who are paying that kind of attention, who are able to do that kind of reverse engineering, are not going to let you know that they're doing that. They're doing it silently, they're doing it in the background, and they're going to use that information against you in the future. Now that spot may not come up a ton, and they may not be able to use it necessarily in that session, but if you're playing in a smaller player pool, you're playing against the same people time in and time out, then this is something that you definitely need to be aware of, because eventually that information that you gave them for free may very easily come back and bite you in the butt. So truth be told, if I'm playing online, I'm just going to click the auto muck button and I'm not going to worry about showing my hand at all. The only time my hand is going to get shown is at showdown when it has to get shown. Every other time, automatically mucked, not even going to worry about it. But when I'm playing in a live environment, I may be a little bit more inclined to occasionally show my hand, but it's always with a very, very specific plan and idea and an understanding of what showing this hand is going to do. So for instance, I might show some bluffs if it's a situation where my image probably looks a little bit more tight and I need to loosen it up, and by showing this bluff I may make the game a little bit looser, and or I may make my image a little bit more beneficial for what I'm trying to do at the end of the day. So notice that the information I'm giving is information that I think is going to result in my opponents making suboptimal decisions in the future. Right? If I'm playing tight, all of a sudden they think I'm playing on the looser side of the spectrum because I had one bluff one time, well, they can start making some really severe over adjustments strategically. So this is more of a situation where my opponents are going to do one specific thing, so I show something to get them to do that thing, and then I take advantage by then saying, okay, I'm just going to kind of play a little bit tighter, play a little bit more snug, and watch them over adjust incorrectly based upon a single piece of information. So again, you have to be cognizant of what information you're giving, what it's going to do, and then make sure that you adjust appropriately. I'm not going to show a bluff and then just continue bluffing into oblivion, thinking that my opponents are going to adjust by getting a little bit stickier with second, third, fourth pair, thinking that I'm over bluffing, because if I am bluffing a lot, that's something I need to be very, very aware of. I'm just going to end up spewing very, very quickly. And I may also decide, okay, I'll show a monster, especially if my image is really, really loose, really, really spewy. I may show a monster just so my opponents are like, wait, has he had big hands this whole time? And again, really, really competent opponents probably aren't going to fall for this, but some weaker opponents or opponents who are trying to think but maybe aren't necessarily able to put the whole thing together and certainly aren't able to adjust appropriately from a strategic response, this could easily be something that gets them to do things that are a little bit atypical out of the norm because of a single piece of information that I specifically planted. Notice none of this is accidental, it's very thoughtful. It's something that as a default, again, if you're ever unsure, just default don't show your monsters, don't show your bluffs unless it's showdown and you have to, but if you have a reason to believe that you could possibly show something and get a better environment and more profitable situation, well, that's certainly something to consider. So just to clarify one quick point of confusion is that information is given in every single hand at every single decision point. And that's whether we're making the decision or our opponents are making the decision, it's still information that's out there. When we're betting or we're raising, we're giving information about our sizing choices and our frequencies. Whether we're calling or we're folding or we're checking, we're still giving information about frequencies, and our opponents do the exact same thing. But that perfect information is given at showdown or when someone voluntarily shows their hand. start. And the issue is that the perfect information then allows our opponents to get a more precise inference on all the assumptions they were making before when they were trying to figure out exactly what our sizing meant and exactly what our frequencies looked like and exactly what our range composition looked like. So this is something that we want to be very, very cognizant of. It's not to say that information is only given at showdown or only given when hands are voluntarily shown. Information is always there. But the issue, or the thing we got to be really cognizant of as good players, is that good players are constantly looking for the information, they're learning how to process that information, and they're making correct strategic adjustments based upon the information. Bad players don't even look for it, don't even know what to do with that information, but good players, yeah, they're processing it, and if you're still working on this, and you should be, this is a great part of your game to really start putting things together. And this is where hand rating starts coming into it. This is where strategy starts coming into it, because you can start taking the hand rating and start putting that into actual strategic lines, and that's what can really make you some big profit at the end of the day. So again, don't think that information is only given at showdown. It's most certainly not, and you want to be on the lookout for this information, again, mostly in the terms of looking at sizing choices and also frequencies, because that's going to help you. And then when you get perfect information, you see actual cards, then you can start filling in those gaps about someone's range and what they're actually doing at the end of the day. So again, this is why I don't suggest most people show, because they're giving that information away for free, whereas I like to let someone pay for it unless I'm trying to do something very, very specific. Now, if you're looking for your next step today, and again, continuing along this path of information gathering, I would definitely suggest checking out a couple of videos that I did in the pro membership over at Red Chip Poker. The first one is my information gathering Q&A, where I answer a slew of questions all about information gathering, how to process that information, and what to do with that information. And then the second is from my Playing versus Unknown series, in particular part number 3, where I really walk you through my reverse engineering process. So essentially, when you get perfect information, be it at showdown or someone voluntarily shows cards, how you can then take that information, go back, replay the hand, and really get some strong inferences about what they're doing, what their strategy actually looks like, and how you can then make better strategic adjustments against them in the future. This is an absolutely crucial skill set that all players need to be working on, and if you're not already working on it, now is a perfect time to get started. If you visit redchippoker.com/ruby, you can get started your first 3 weeks for just $15. Give it a try. If nothing else, watch those couple of videos, do a couple of lessons of core, and really see how your game starts to improve at the table and how your information gathering starts to make more sense and your adjustments make even more sense based upon perfect information that you get, again, either at showdown or someone making the mistake of voluntarily showing you cards that maybe they shouldn't have. And that is going to wrap it up for this video. John, thank you so much for this question. Hopefully this helps. And again, as a pure default, don't show your hands, but if you have some very specific information or reasoning for showing it, well, it could make a little bit more sense to give some perfect information in order to create maybe a more profitable environment in the future. Again, if you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. And as always, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I would massively appreciate it. And also hit the little bell notification, that way you get a heads up whenever a new video is released. And just for the record, the main reason why I say that is because I really tend to only respond to comments for the first couple of days after releasing a video. After that, there are tons of videos, so it's difficult to keep up on all the comments. So if you're looking for a direct response, make sure to watch the video as quickly as possible whenever new videos are released. Leave comments then, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. So same as always, if you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, as always, good luck out there and happy grinding. Everything you do gives information away, and everything your opponents do